My name is Natalie Cross. I'm 41, and the last time my family saw me, they decided I was a lost cause washing dishes at a truck stop diner in Nebraska. That judgment landed 3 years ago in our childhood kitchen, when my older sister Clara pointed at my grease-smudged shirt and told me I was wrecking her spotless narrative. My brother Miles nodded in his perfect suit and slid a check across the table to help me get my life together. I left the paper on the counter and walked out. They didn't know the uniform beneath the disguise. After 8 years as Army MP with 2 tours, I was recruited into the U.S. Marshal Service. The diner, cover, the shabby studio, government lease, the tired eyes, 18-hour days earning the trust of men who trafficked people like freight. For 3 years I lived as a ghost to my own family so I could be a shield for strangers. The case erupted on a Tuesday in March. 17 arrests in 4 states, victims recovered, faces I'd memorized finally in cuffs. By Friday, my supervisor told me to pack my real clothes. Go home, she said. Home meant stepping back into the story my siblings had written about me, then tearing out the ending. Clara's wedding was set for Saturday at Riverside Country Club, the same hall where our parents toasted their 25th. Months ago, Miles texted the details after telling me not to show. Old habits die loud. I considered a beach, a blackout, a bed. Instead, I pressed my dress uniform, checked the shine on my badge, and pointed my Ford toward the place where they'd once refused me a chair. If they needed a picture of who I'd become, I'd bring the frame myself. Riverside's chandeliers were sugared stars the night I walked in. I felt the room sift around me. Perfume, laughter, a string quartet sawing something cheerful. Clara, all silk and practiced grace, froze when she saw the uniform. Miles made it to me first, jaw set like a locked drawer. "You can't," he whispered. "Not tonight." "I already did," I said, and handed him the envelope I'd kept sealed for 3 years. The medal citation, the commendation letters, and a simple photo. Me, mud-streaked and smiling beside 2 women we'd pulled from a sweltering box truck. His eyes flicked, then steadied. The quartet slid into a waltz. Clara approached with our mother's pearls at her throat. "If this is another spectacle—" "It's the opposite," I said. "I came to tell the truth and then sit quietly in the back." Her gaze landed on the badge, then on me. "You were never a waitress?" "I was, and I was also a wall." The toast began, and I found my place near the exit. When the best man told the story about Clara's color-coded notebooks, the room laughed. When he mentioned the year our father died, the room hushed. My sister dabbed her eye with a linen square. After the cake, the DJ traded violins for bass. A little girl spun until her ribbon halo slipped. Miles drifted toward me again, contrition loosening his shoulders. "I misjudged you," he said. "You made a call with the evidence you had." "Then give me more evidence," he said, almost smiling. "Stay." I glanced at Clara. She lifted a brow, a small invitation. I stayed. The night exhaled, and I let it, finally too. The morning after, sunlight rinsed the city and the country club was a memory. I drove to our mother's bungalow with coffee and a box of cinnamon rolls. She opened the door before I knocked, watching the street since dawn. "You looked like your father in that uniform," she said, ushering me to the kitchen. We sat at the scarred table where the argument had once detonated. The silence was gentler now, with kettle steam and the crumble of pastry. "I should have told you," I said. "You were doing something that demanded quiet," she answered. "But don't vanish again." Before I could promise, Clara arrived barefoot, dress hem clipped to a hanger, mascara faintly smudged. She slid onto the bench and set a velvet box in front of me. Inside lay a silver pin shaped like a shield. "For your jacket," she said. A sister pin. The 3 of us ate, and stories began to pour. Not cases, not horrors, but small things. How I learned to braid in the field, how Clara schedules joy like budgets, how Mom plants tomatoes by the moon. Miles joined with a sheepish wave and 4 forks. He cleared his throat. "I mailed the check to the Survivors Fund," he said. "In your name. It felt overdue." I nodded. "Come meet my other family sometime," I said. The women from the case are starting school and they asked if I'd bring people who clap loudly. Clara grinned. We can be loud. We planned the visit, chose a date, and took a picture on the porch. No disguises, no missing pieces, just women holding each other up.